there's actually also a sentiment when we are not, I mean, we are in a neophyte stage, we don't know how to relate properly, and we might even think that someone who is on a superior level to us, we become merciful to them. And that's, this is Rasabas. It's really awkward. Just like when we have, is there something in me seems the correct way? For example, we have one of our sannyasis visiting and so on, and actually we don't tell him, oh, I hope, how do you say it in English, Hedegot?
Be well.
Yeah, may everything be well with you, like that. That's not how, what he's a senior, you pray for his mercy, Maharaj, please bless me. And then he may say, Krishna, Matya Astu, may you always be Krishna conscious. Those who are our elders and superiors, we are open and we ask for their mercy. We know we are the receivers of their mercy, not the other way around. And those who are equal, also they know we're not merciful as such. Of course, we know one is very helpful with other, those are friends and like that. But one is establishes friendship and is a selfless friend, and the way friendship is not materialistic consciousness. In friendship, one becomes competitive and sees those who actually one's equals and should be one's friends, they become one's rivals. And I have to prove myself, and I'm better, I'm stronger, I'm more intelligent, I'm better devotee. And so that's material consciousness. But no, it should simply be when there's someone equal, one should be happy and and be friends. And in friendship, there's no competition and trying to put one down, except that it's in like in a sporting spirit. Friends can also have, sportingly have competition and so on. But it's not really competition as such. It's not to establish oneself above the other, as is the case in material consciousness and the material world. And then if there's someone who is in a lower position or and more junior position, inferior position, one is merciful and kind and helps them, facilitates them and helps them to advance, not exploits them. Material consciousness, one will exploit those who are inferior to one. Exploit them, keep them down, even mock them, deride them, and so it's typical of material consciousness. So how one is pleasing Krishna is tested in our direct dealings with others, and we to learn the art of correctly dealing with everyone according to their position and so on is very, very pleasing to Krishna. That is and one's happiness, that is it is said, very famous verse in the 6th canto, what is it, Sanskrit?
Etavam avyotamo punyashokai upasitai vubhuta shukaha shabhyam atmashuchati rishati.
Yeah, I have to learn it also. But it means, actually that verse also says, this is the eternal, this is the essence of all religious principles. That is considered imperishable. Those who actually are wise consider this teaching the imperishable essence of all religion. And what is that? That is to be happy in the happiness of others and distressed in others' distress. This is actually where we find it. There are so many religions, different forms, different traditions, and so on, and they seem very, very different. So do they have something in common? Yes, if they're true religions, then they should have that in common, that the adherents of that religion, they are happy to see others happy and they're distressed to see others distressed. And if that's not there, then we have the form of religion, but we do not have the essence of religion. It's simply some, the external trappings of the dress and the ceremonies and the identification as being religious, but really religion is not there. That is to be happy to see others happy, to be distressed to see others distressed. That mentality is so pleasing to Krishna when one develops this non-envious mentality to other living beings. The envy that we are struggling with, this is what is really blocking us from Krishna. It is what has brought us here to this material world, because our actual envy towards Krishna, and this is what is manifesting in our immediate dealings, from moment to moment, hour to hour in this world, how we, that we manifest envy towards other living beings, other humans, other non-human beings. We manifesting envy and with envy towards others, then Krishna again, he becomes distant. We cannot please Krishna with an envious attitude towards others. But giving up non-envious mentality and engaging in Krishna service by spreading Krishna consciousness wherever one can, spreading Krishna consciousness to oneself. Generally, when we are again with older superiors, then we spread Krishna consciousness mainly by receiving Krishna consciousness from them and becoming more Krishna conscious. And with friends, we talk about Krishna. This is a real friend. We enlighten each other in Krishna consciousness and talk about how we can serve better in Krishna consciousness, and can also reveal oneself. I have this problem. How can I get rid of this problem and become more Krishna conscious? That's amongst friends. Friends doesn't mean it's just someone I hang out with and we gossip together and we go and we watch horror movies together or and so on. That's not really a friend. That's actually an enemy. It's someone who keeps me in, and I keep him in material consciousness, and we actually each other's enemies. Sometimes we are attached to our, us who were not born as devotees. Now we have to be, because you were born as a devotee family. We were not. We came by our own choice. You were forced. No one gave you a choice. But so we have our, we have also former friends and like that. Sometimes we can be very attached to them, and we can use that attachment to also benefit them. But if the attachment remains, we just attach to them as, to the material friendship, and we then actually they're not really our friends. They are our enemies, and we are their enemies. And a friend is someone who we enhance each other's Krishna consciousness together. And to those who are ignorant, one engages in spreading Krishna consciousness. One preaches or one assists those who are preaching Krishna consciousness, because that is actually the real and the only welfare work. That's the only thing that can really help anyone who's suffering in this world, and everyone is suffering in this world. It's a world of misery. And but there's only one thing that is lacking, that is to become Krishna conscious. That's true on the individual level, and then also on the collective level. But on the individual level, we see someone suffering. Well, he has to become Krishna conscious, and no other remedial measure will help him at all. That will just be, the suffering is there, but one will simply one will paint the suffering with a different color, so it looks new and shiny and fresh, but it's still the same kind of suffering. Becoming Krishna conscious is what is helps, relieves a person of all suffering, and someone who is actually Krishna conscious can exist in any situation and not be affected by the mysteries of this world. Or you mean they were there, you experience them, but you see this is simply another way to please Krishna. It's just one opportunity to please Krishna. Just like once, it was from Damodar Maharaj. He was one of Prabhupada's favorite scientists, and he was the leader of the other scientists. But somehow or other, scientists, they're not easy to always work together with and organize and get coordinated. So, yeah, I don't think so.
And modern technology takes over.
Huh?
And modern technology takes over.
Yeah, actually, it's this should be completely prohibited to have cell phones on during the Bhagavatam lecture. If you had your cell phone, I'd be furious. But of course, I cannot say anything. So Swami Damodar, he was writing to Prabhupada, about, because I heard one professor at the University of Copenhagen, he's probably also a little frustrated that he had to organize some of his colleagues and like that. He said, like, to organize intellectuals is like you try to organize cats. It's how do you do that? Cats are so individualistic, they cannot have their own way. Anyway, I don't know exact conditions, but Swami Damodar, as he wrote to Prabhupada, there are so many difficulties, so difficult. And Prabhupada, what did he write back? You know what Prabhupada wrote? He wrote back, in Krishna consciousness, there are no difficulties. There are only opportunities for service to Krishna. So that's why we see difficult, a mountain of difficulties. Well, that's, from the, for our material pleasure, that's unpleasant. But it's a great opportunity to serve Krishna. Actually, in difficulty, there is more opportunity to please Krishna and serve Krishna when everything is easy and it's just, and it's so easy to serve Krishna. But if it's difficult and one still goes on, how much more Krishna is pleased. So the devotee sees that, and then he becomes, that makes him happy. Krishna has given me a great opportunity to please him more by solving these problems, or going through these problems, and so on. So the devotee never becomes distressed or depressed or loses hope or anything like that. That's the magic of the devotee's consciousness, which is inconceivable to someone who's in material consciousness. Actually, there's no situation, every situation, if it's a nice and sunny and favorable situation that everyone likes us, everything is just falling into place. But the devotee is thankful to Krishna for allowing him to have such a comfortable situation. And if it's difficult, the devotee is thankful to Krishna for allowing him to serve him in this difficult situation and even please him more. It's one of the themes in the prayers of Kunti. She prays that these difficulties come again and again, because then we have a chance to please you. We have a chance to remember you. When things are easy, then we forget you. But when things are difficult and actually we are desperate, and we can only, stretch our hands, both hands up in the air, and cry, Krishna, help! That's the best situation. We don't want this comfortable situation we have now. Now you're leaving us. Before you were always with us. So therefore, let all these troubles come again and again and again, so we can see you again and again. What was the Sanskrit of that verse? I don't remember.
It's Queen Kunti saying.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So you know the verse.
Yeah.
It's famous verse. So anyway, the areas are so nice. Very, very direct, very profound, very simple and profound. Yeah. Any questions or comments?
I looked up in the dictionary, and it turns out it is both exploitive and exploitative.
Yeah.
But that was one from Hawaii was saying they are English speaking.
Yeah.
We only speak English.
You only speak English.
Research.
I'm English also.
Yeah.
No, but
So that's nice.
It's different countries.
Different countries.
From
American English, I speak Israeli,
Yeah.
which is a blending of American English.
Yeah.
it's still different.
And Hawaiian English.
It's not Hawaiian English, it's American.
Oh, I part of America, that's right. Yeah.
We were born in different part. We were born in Hawaii.
Oh.
Okay. Then you moved there.
Yeah, we moved there. We don't speak Hawaiian.
Do Hawaiian people speak Hawaiian?
Yeah,
They do.
there's a language Hawaiian.
Ah.
There's a language Hawaiian.
Oh yeah. I mean, like the indigenous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't like white people, do they?
They don't like Americans. Because
No.
Americans took over.
Yeah. These Americans, we also don't like them.
Nobody likes Americans.
Hawaii is an independent place until America took it over.
Yeah.
It's 50th state. So.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this being friendly and showing mercy to others, because sometimes we see Prabhupada being friendly and showing mercy to others. He does so in a very, very heavy and non-compromising way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking sometimes in order to get the book distributed, I kind of like don't talk directly about the philosophy, but I talk about one aspect of it. For example, many people, they can relate to karma, and so I often sell the books on that basis. So is that kind of making a compromise with the philosophy? Because our philosophy is not so much about karma.
Well, our philosophy is about getting the books into people's hand and they walk away with a book.
Yeah.
So how can that be compromised with our philosophy? And,
How about you sit by hook and by crook?
yeah, I mean, but it's, I mean,
You can
No,
say
no,
anything to be makes them take a book.
But I would like to do it in the
Yeah.
best and most direct
I mean,
way.
I have to correct. I mean, you praise the books and you praise the contents, and there probably there's enough merit in our books that everyone, when it's presented nicely, they will be attracted. But to tell people about karma, I mean, I say that's definitely not, very much within our philosophy. That anything we do will get, has a reaction. Is that what you're telling me? That actually we are creating our own happiness, we're creating our own distress. It's a fantastic knowledge to have, because now we are thinking that, my misery is because of all the others. We are thinking that they are the cause of my problems, and if they were not there, or if they would shape up, then my misery would not be there. And that's such a disempowering understanding, because, I may be angry and frustrated with them, but I can't do anything about it. They're going to continue doing what they want to do. And no matter how frustrated I am, it's not going to change. But the one person I can change is amazingly myself. I can change. That is within my power to change the way I react to situations and my consciousness. I can work on that. So actually, it's a very empowering understanding. It actually, gives you the complete tool to become successful and happy in life and the next life. And I don't think that's not against our philosophy, is it?
I don't think so.
I mean, if you present that, it's
Or if you want to be very direct, you should be like Nila. You know what he did? He had a spear and he went out to people and he would ask, "Do you accept Krishna as your Lord and Master?" And people would say, "No." Stab. That's direct preaching.
Forcibly make them
Yeah. You know, either. You know.
When was that? In recent times?
No, that was thousands of years ago.
So, and then he was. You know,
Maybe one from the Yatra in the old days.
It was one of the Alvars, these South Indian sages. Very famous.
Of course, isn't it the Muslims are known for that preaching technique?
Yeah, I think they picked it up from me.
Yeah. But it seems to work great. There's so many Muslims, so we should adopt that also.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think you should do that on the video.
Okay, it's on
Yeah,
camera.
what is
You said something about this idea of younger devotees being seemingly merciful to their superiors, and you gave the example of with the guru or something, asking. But I was thinking, well, gee, that's what I wrote the other day. I wrote to my guru, hope you were well. But I think
it's okay. It's okay.
I think it needs clarification because there's a social norm and there's the way we interact as devotees.
Yeah.
But I think it's I'm fairly certain that it's okay for a disciple to wish their guru is in good health and to inquire about that, because it's also a way of showing that you're caring about them and your thoughts are with them. Without it being an act, like a power thing, that I'm merciful to you because I'm inquiring. So, I mean, it just, I was just thinking, I think it's okay to...
I mean, basically it's okay. I mean, it's also questioning one's consciousness, because also we also have a tendency to put ourselves in relation to superiors, especially in our culture, on an equal level. We are all equal. We are all, so we are all friends. And you ask to your guru, and your guru asks to you, and like that. But the real relationship, disciple-guru, you may, express it in different ways, maybe, and you can ask, of course, to his wealth and so on. But the mood is still, how can I serve you? What do you want from me? And and I'm in need of your mercy. And that's one should definitely always feel inferior to one's guru and to one's superiors. But we have
all of consciousness, you're saying.
it's a consciousness, yeah, and it's a contamination we are bringing in from our modern world. I don't know if that's in Australia, is that we're all pals, we're all equals, and
No, we have quite an authority system more than Denmark.
because I'm talking about the Danish situation, which I'm familiar with, and there it's very much we're all equals, and younger ones who could be my sons, and even younger than that, they'll come and pat me on the shoulder and say, "Oh, how are you doing?" and like speak as if an equal, which I don't mind. But it's mainly. It's not for the sake of the seniors that there should be differences. It's for the juniors, because if a junior has an equal level to someone who actually could teach him, he is simply deprived of the opportunity to be taught and get good instructions. It's like in our school system. When I went to school, then we addressed the teacher by their surname and Herr or Mr. like that. And then you used to do that also?
It's still now in Australia.
Yeah, but that changed one generation later. School children, students address their teachers by their first name. Per, sir, and how they address a teacher like that. So, and that was, and of course, name of, liberal, and that is, it's actually, it creates a wrong mood for the students. There should be, the student actually, should have respect, even a little fear of the teacher. Not a healthy fear, but a little, okay, the teachers here, we shut up. We're not frivolous, we don't make jokes and so on. Because that creates a mood where actually they can listen, and he can speak and they can listen. That's also the idea, for example, of the Vyasa-san. Why do we give the speaker of the Bhagavatam a higher seat and so on? Well, it creates and he's looking down on us and we're looking up at him. It creates a mood. Okay, I can listen. And that's the whole point. To create an environment where listening takes place. And this of creating this equality mood has the opposite effect.
But Thakur, he says we should evaluate devotees, not judge them, but we should evaluate where they are on these three. If they are inferior, we are merciful to them, and if they are equal, we make friends, and if they are superior, we take instructions and receive mercy.
Yeah.
So he says we have to evaluate other devotees so we know how to relate to them. Because it's not proper, like you say, if we relate to our superiors like in a friendly or want to make friends and stuff like that.
No.
So that's actually the duty, it says, of a devotee to evaluate the position of other devotees so they know how to relate to them.
Yeah. And once you let the superior dictate the terms, like Prabhupada, here with his disciples, a lot of time it was actually more or less on equal level and friendly and joking and equal exchanges, but it was in Prabhupada's terms.
Yeah.
As soon as he wanted a different mood, okay, then it wasn't a disciple dictating what the mood should be. So that's kind of that must be kind of the inferior is always sensitive, and if the superior would like to have an equal mood, okay, then hey, come on. Because now lecture is supposed to be over as well.
Do they know that you're still in class?
Yeah, he should know. He should know.
You could turn it off.
But because the one ringing sound was actually 9:15. That means it's ringing 9:15.
Oh, it's the sound of
Alarm.
Stop.
Yeah, no, it's like the bell in the school.
Alarm.
Classes or
Class over.
yeah. 7 bar from P.
Ja.
P.
Ja. Haribo.
Haribo. Vishnu Krishna.